Burr. What up, Sid? Alrighty, we are live from Columbus, OH, and this is the Ramsey Show After Show. I'm Coach Steve Money. I'm a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach. You're watching this on youtube.com/Coach Steve Money. And for my financial content, just scroll past the Oak Island playlist and you'll see the Ramsey Show After Show playlist. Today is episode number 484 of those. And looks like I didn't put 483 yesterday in the playlist. I'll have to add that. And the other financial playlist is answering your financial questions, and there's 137 of those. And there's 11 Ramsey adjacent songs in the music playlist as well. Market report. Everything down today. Drops to as Walmart. They released their earnings. And so this morning they did that. Let's just check on the the most followed single stocks on the Google, and Apple is up and Microsoft was up. The rest of them are down, as you can see. Let's see what the rest of the planet is looking like. Mostly down in Europe, all down in Asia. The euro's up against the US dollar, yen up against the US dollar. The British pound, love, is up against the US dollar. The Canadian dollar, sorry, is up against the US dollar. And the Australian dollar makes it a clean sweep against the US dollar. US dollar wanted to be higher than everybody else today, and the whole rest of the world said nar. Who do we have? Nobody really that interesting to me coming up with earnings. See what the futures look like for tomorrow. More downness. Anything could happen by the morning, though. Don't know. Let's see what we have in the news. We got the Walmart. And let's make sure this is completely up to date. After hours trading, it's picking back up again. A little bit. A tiny bit. After losing 6.53% today. But the reason is, we see a lot. Where is it? Should drop as retailer says profit growth will slow. Yeah, muted outlook clouds, but they did beat expectations for this past quarter though. And so I guess that doesn't mean anything if you say that, oh, we might not make that much money next year or next quarter. We might not make that much. So, and people don't like that. And of course, your stock market people are very, very reactionary bunch when they don't have to be. Just like, I mean, it's the same thing. We don't have to be either. So, like, if one of your mutual funds goes down one day or 1 week or even 1 month, that doesn't mean it's a bad mutual fund. And you have to think about it in the long term. But what drives the market, though, is these marketers that are day trading. They're not the typical day trader type of person that is on their own, but they represent certain business interests and they are day trading, and so they don't have anything better to do than react to every single thing that happens, whether it is worthy of reacting to or not. I think that's all we got for Yeah, we're in the articles already. Fortune magazine. It's kind of a dark subject, but so many Americans died from COVID. It's boosting Social Security to the tune of $205 billion. And so that will allow it to be solvent for longer, I guess. I didn't look at the article because I don't think I can. Yeah, I can't because it's paywall, behind a paywall. And so I didn't see if they projected like how much longer it would be. $205 billion worth is how much longer it will be solvent for, unless something changes about it. Lower payouts. I don't know. I mean, and if it goes solvent, which I don't think it will, I think probably people would find the money elsewhere in the government, which we see with this administration, how easy that is to do, to find things that can be cut. So they would do that, or they would just borrow more money, which is not a good idea either. So, and maybe this 205 billion boost here, maybe that means it'll definitely still be around when I start to collect it. As far as you kids, I do not know about that. Was this Fox Business? Trump's energy department cancels more than $124 million in wasteful spending. Doe. Supposed to be Doge, probably. Oh no, Department of Energy. My bad. That's my bad. Department of Energy tells Fox News Digital. Got to make sure you put the L's in the right spot. They found 124 million in DEI contracts, news subscriptions, and other non-essential expenditures. Well, of course they did. That's going to be rampant in any department, I would imagine. Meaning the catch-all of non-essential expenditures. So fun times. Let's get into the question. Morbid yet positive. Sid says, Sid found out for me somehow. Overall, go to say the 205 billion boost to Social Security won't change much in the long term. The government pays that amount in benefits every couple of months. Boop, boop, boo. Yep, okay, my bad. Got excited for no reason. Should have known better. Where are we? We did the what step are we in and what should we prioritize to catch up with that one if you were not here yesterday. If you didn't see yesterday's show, basically this seemed to be like, I don't know 100% for sure, but it just seemed like to me it was one of the people, because they make around $200,000 each, married couple, so that's $400,000. They're like, what step are we in and what should I prioritize? You would think you would be able to find out what step you're on, but see, the problem is they have car loans, and they look and see that car loans are on baby step 2, so they're like, oh, I don't know what baby step I'm on. Yeah, you're on step 2. You're on a low baby step number despite your high income. So that's got nothing to do with it. And it's pretty easy to tell what baby step you're on. Blondie 99, credit score without credit card. Well, we don't care about credit score in the Ramsey verse. So that doesn't matter because you don't need it in the United States to buy a house or anything else. I am 25 years old and do not have a credit card per Dave's advice. Good job. Just debit card. Good job. And therefore no credit score. Good job. I am looking to buy a home soon, and of course every mortgage loan is asking for a credit score. Okay, well, don't do it online. Don't just apply online. You can do that in person, or you talk to somebody first and explain the situation. For I don't do credit. I don't do loans or anything. So I have an indeterminable credit score. And so I will need what's called manual underwriting. And some mortgage companies may not do those, but the Churchill Mortgage certainly does. And if you look, you can probably find somebody that does. But then you have them do that with them, because um, if you do it online, it probably can't do a manual underwriting one, because there's too much, there's extra work that goes into it. And it asks your credit score on your mortgage loan application, or any question about it, any where you're trying to put in your a calculator or anything like that, because it goes by credit score mostly, and the computer just does it, and it's just very easy. But what the manual underwriting does is looks at your history of paying things. So you could have a problem if you have not ever, if you've lived with mommy and daddy until 25, for example, like this person, and you have not paid rent. You don't have a history of paying rent. You don't have a history of paying utilities or anything else that you have to pay every month. If you don't have that, you may have some difficulty. So you should definitely rent first anyway. That would have been the advice, to move out earlier than 25, and you would add that history of paying things on time. Is there any way to build a credit score without a credit card? Not that I'm aware of. I mean, just loans, but you're not supposed to do that either. That's in the Ramsey verse. We don't do that. And has anyone found that living without a credit card is actually realistic? Yes. Yes. What is it? 2024. Let's see. It just seems so impossible in today's day and age, in this economy, blah, blah, blah. I hate it when people use dumb phrases like that. Where so many things rely on a credit score, they do not have to. You can buy whatever you want without a credit score. You just need cash for it. And as far as the mortgage, and that would be the only loan that you should be getting at all, you can do manual underwriting on that. So, if you were trying to buy a house straight from living with mommy and daddy, you may be having a problem. So, but it is very realistic. I haven't had one in, 15 years now? I'm trying to remember what year. Cannot remember the year off the top of my head. But it's been over 10 years. And guess what? You know how many problems I had by not having a credit score? Not having any credit cards? You know how many problems? Donut, babe. Oh, let's see. It says there was 1.7 million excess deaths. Yeah, not a happy situation, but just thought it was interesting because it talks about the effect on Social Security. Matt B4RD, Matt Bard, maybe? Baby step 1, making progress, transfer of balances to lower interest accounts. And the idea is that you pay it off. You do not just move it around, because guess what? When you transfer the balances to lower interest accounts, they often, almost always, charge a fee for that, and they add that to the account, and that puts you even more in debt. So I know you're trying to be mathy and trying to be cute and save money on the interest, but you're making more debt by doing that. And just moving it around also, see, humans tend to be nutty at times, and people, when they do things like transfer balances to lower the interest on it, they worry or are concerned less about that debt. And so then they can fall off the baby steps easier. So that's why that's not advised. Let's see, we managed to pay off a few accounts using the snowball method. Since we really started to focus on 12/9/24, better late than never. We track our progress on a spreadsheet. Hashtag spreadsheet. Approved. And have all of our unsecured debt on a tab, our autos on another, and our homes on another. That seems like a little bit too much to do, but that's fine. If you like having different tabs, sure, that's fine. I won't share the dollars because I'm frankly embarrassed about the amount of unsecured debt we have compiled. All right, we've all done stupid. That part's fine, even though it is a mere fraction of what I've heard from listening to other stories on the Spotify show. I wouldn't go as far as to call it a Spotify show. It's definitely the Ramsey show, and you can hear it / see it on many different platforms, one of which is Spotify. Oof. Here's my thought. The first two accounts we paid off have a significantly lower interest rate than the third account we're about to start attacking. It feels counterintuitive to borrow money to pay off debt, but yeah, you got it. You got it. Don't move it around. Just pay it off as fast as you can. The idea is to pay it off faster than you will end up making that fee back by the less interest that you pay. Not a towel for 20. All right. Household debt for Americans is a new high of over $18 trillion. That's 18 zeros, babe, by the way, on trading. Happy to say by end of year, figured it out, we will be debt-free except mortgage. Great. Eventually, the dam is going to break with household debt, high mortgage rates, and student loan debt. Sure, it is. And eventually, people get to that point, and that's generally when they type in pay off debt, and guess who comes up? That would be our man, Mr. Ramsey. So this person in baby step 2 flare, but apparently understands the reality of the situation. And so hopefully we'll be paying that, working diligently, gazelle intent, so shall we say, towards paying off that debt. We got outrageous ad, 74.19, but it's not an ad. I don't think, is it? No, don't think so. There's more. Looks like it might be in a nice formatting. Let's see. Yeah, we got an outline here. Some dotted things. Let's see. Looking for some advice about when and how much home my future spouse and I can reasonably afford. First of all, get married before you buy that one. Before you buy that house. I would love to put 20% down, but I understand it can be tough for a first-time home purchase. No, it's not. It doesn't have to be tough. It just means you might have to wait to buy the house longer than you want to if you want to put 20% down, which is good because then that does save you money because then you wouldn't have any private mortgage insurance. And that, of course, is not insurance for you on the house. That is insurance for the lender if you do not pay the mortgage, is what that is. So you're paying for the insurance policy that covers them. And so if you don't want to do that, you got to have 20% equity in the property. And how you get that is by putting 20% down. Housing is still hot in our area. And that is the exact case. Or if you live in a high cost of living area and don't make high cost of living money, then that's when you do have to save a higher down payment to make your home affordable. So you don't take out too much mortgage. So let's see the background. 28 years old, each of them. Married early this summer. All right. Live in what I would consider an average cost of living area in the Dakotas. Okay. Might be. Have a base salary of $74,000. We don't go on bonuses because we don't know if that's going to stay. Additional 10% in restricted stock units. See, the problem with that is, they're bonuses, but the Ramsey advice on that is you don't use single stock, so you would sell those as soon as possible. Let's see, my fiance makes an annual salary of 81. So you would go on 81 and 74, and that would be 155. Yeah, $155,000. And so you're looking at like 100 and let's just use 150. That'll be fun. Because that's easier math. 150, so it's 300. That's $450,000 mortgage. But you do, of course, have to be 100% consumer debt free, and so you cannot have any other debt other than this mortgage that you're going to take out. Neither one of you can have any other debt, and also you have to have the full emergency fund as well. And I always recommend 6 months. The emergency fund advice is 3 to 6 months of expenses. But if you're going to buy a house, just because of the additional things that can go wrong with a house, I always recommend 6 months of your emergency fund. And so you got to have that all done, debt paid off, and full emergency fund before you save 1 penny of the down payment. So this might not be a real quick thing that you do. You might not be married early this summer and then have a house to go home to. Still be renting probably. Let's see. Currently contribute 15% to my 401k. Again, you wouldn't do that if there's debt. We'll see. 10% and has a 4% match and has a balance of 40,000. The match does not count towards the 15%. So if she's going to follow the Ramsey's advice, she is going to have to kick that up. Again, no debt. Combined HSA balances, health savings accounts up 10K. Okay. After tax joint income monthly. Okay. 8,000. So, all right. So going on that. Yeah. So your, so the mortgage payment, that would have to be $2,000, right around $2,000. I also have a Roth IRA that is maxed annually as a generous gift by my parents, okay, and has a $100,000 balance. Currently have money market account with balance totaling $70,000, and I also have another $25,000 in an investment account. I'm assuming, not a retirement account, so that they could take that out for to add to the down payment. We have other cash accounts of $40,000. Okay, no debt, fabulous. And with the money on hand, you do have the emergency fund as well. Even if you don't have it called the emergency fund, you have enough money for that. And so what you would do, let's see, we're in a home with a third person and each pay $850 monthly plus utilities. We spend roughly $500 to $600 monthly on food and going out. Beep, 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 doo. Other few hundred on miscellaneous as needed. Guilty of some frivolous spending, yeah, as we have no debt, but it's marginal. I don't know, 500, 600 a month. I don't know, a whole month, I guess. Let's see. What is that for? That's $200 a week. No. My bad. Did the math wrong on that. So it's less than that. That still seems a little high, but I mean, not having debt, you can do that, but I would begin putting more of that towards the down payment to make sure you get that mortgage as low as it can be. But it seems like you'd be all right. And medium home price in the area is $350,000. And what did I say for that? Yeah, you'd be fine with that. I think I said $450. So you'd be fine with that. So, and as first-time home buyers, you would not have to, per Ramsey rules, apparently, you would not have to put down 20%. You could put down less. 5 to 10% for a first-time home buyer is fine, per Mr. Ramsey. So you can do that, but you will have to pay that PMI. So it would be better to not do that. And so what was the question again? Advice about when and how much home my future spouse and I can reasonably afford. You can afford the 350. Like I said, you can do a 450 mortgage even, but don't do that if you don't have to. Don't do that just because you can. Find a nice house around the 350. Using that's the median home price. Find the nicest one that's in that price range, and it doesn't matter if you go a little bit up from that. Oh, let's see. What else do we have? Outrageous ad 749. I already did that one. My bad. My bad. Swifty underscore BD. Maternity leave and debt. Hi all. So I'm new here and wanted a bit of advice. In the bloody UK, my partner is expecting our baby in May, and we will have equal money to cover maternity leave. They don't like to say T's there. Roughly 3 to 4K quid a month, which is fine. Okay. We also have debt around 10K and a loan which we pay 450 quid of a month. If that's on a car, you can sell the car and buy a beater. Would you save all we can towards maternity leave and leave the debt off at minimum payment until we are in a better position financially? Yes, you would be doing that. You would be, if you're not married, first you would get married and then combine finances. And then at that point, you're on stork mode, which means you pause the baby steps, and so you are just paying minimums. That is the advice. And then you're saving it just because anything might happen during your pregnancy. And so when mom and baby are home safe from the hospital, then you take that pile of cash and then you are right back on the same baby step you left off on before. Let's see. Would you save all we can towards maternity leave and leave the debt off? Leave the debt off at minimum payments. Leave the debt off. That might be leave something off. That might be a UKism or anywhere but Americaism maybe. Minimum payments until we are in a better position financially. I also have no emergency fund, so that's bad. After bills, I have roughly 1250 spare. Maybe they are still separate finances, and so I'd go get married. Go to the what do they call the like your local, like a quaint name in England or the UK for a justice of the peace for the court. The vicar. No, that's a church official, isn't it? Yeah, the no emergency fund, and so definitely you are not doing anything except piling up cash. And then when it comes time to go back to the baby steps, then you would start with baby step 1 and have the $1,000 at least. But during my partner's maternity leave, this will be difficult to save any more questions or info. I'm happy to answer. Yeah, the problem is it doesn't say what, let's see, doesn't say what the loan is. So if you can sell what the loan is, do that and pay it off as fast as you can. After bills, I have roughly 1,250 quid spare, which is trying to save at least 750 quid of this. Well, after bills, does that include after all necessary expenses? Because if you have 1250, then you would be using that towards the debt, and you're not doing extra savings while you still have that debt. So you're doing it wrong over across the pond, and you can join the same club. There's no borders on people doing the baby steps wrong. All over the world, they're doing it wrong, including in the United States. Will be difficult to save any more questions, info. I'm happy to answer. Thank you very much. So much. No, I think I basically got it, but you need to do the baby steps correctly. And the Ramsey advice is to get married. So, I don't know what the partner thing is. Some people do get married and they still say partner for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know. I guess Bob Goldthwait had a joke, like, in the '80s. So don't come at me, anybody. But he said, and actually he was making a point that that is bad, I guess. But he says, when he said he made a joke about his wife and he called her his bride, and he says he don't. No, was that, or was that Sam Kinison? Was it Bobcat? I can't remember. Anyway, some comedian in the '80s said, I call her my bride. I don't like to call her my wife because my wife sounds like I traded some horses for her. That kind of thing. And so yeah, but so I don't know why you would say at least spouse, and we're married if you're married. Oh, that's the wrong one. So yeah. So I don't know, but if you're going to stay together and you're thinking about buying a house together, for that you would want to be married, but also she having a baby in May, dog. What are you waiting for? People are nutty with their, we can't afford a big wedding now, so we're going to wait. That's as dumb as crap. You can have a big party later at any time when you get your financial act together, but get married now. How about that? No Grape 4380. Spinning my gears on step 6 in Canada. Speaking of other countries, we'll see if he's doing it wrong, or she. The only debt at the moment is my mortgage, $175,000 remaining. Single homeowner, 3.5 years into a 25-year mortgage. Okay, would not be allowed. Actually, I don't know if they have 15s. Yes, I'm aware 15 years is what Dave Ramsey recommends, but at this point, selling and going back to renting would actually increase my monthly bills instead of decreasing them, since rental prices have increased so drastically. So I need to carry on with my current direction. Well, that's why you're going to be spinning your gears if you bought too much house. So let's see if on that mortgage, so we starting today, we would go by not what the mortgage was originally, but on the 175K remaining, and make the decision based on that. Interest rate doesn't matter, doesn't make a flip worth the difference here. Is only locked in for another 1.5. Yeah, other countries are nutty, and people that get adjustable rate mortgages here are nutty as well. But you don't have to here. And then will increase by unknown amount, right? Currently my mortgage payments are 22% of my take-home pay. Okay, so apparently fine. And I've been paying an extra 5% monthly for the last 3 years on top of my regular. Did not see the ellipses there, the dots, so that I knew there was more. I rented out a room in my, there was a lot of R's going together. I rented out a room in my home for the last year and a half, but the strain of having another human in my personal space has sent me into a deep depression. So that's at the end. It's at the end. Oh no, it's Canada. So that's at the end. So, did you say sorry, but you got to move out? Sorry. Um, and cannot resume renting out part of my home. I'd rather continue to be alive with less money. All right, that's fine. I wouldn't want to live with anybody else either. I'm in a senior technical position with the government and at the top of the pay scale, not just for my job, but also in the highest paid position with my provincial government outside the provincially employed lawyers and surgeons. Yeah. It's the type of senior position you sit in until you retire, and retirement's 27 years away. Okay, you might feel the same way about that as you do about living with someone else. That might be depressing, thinking about that. So my pay is what it is outside of 1 to 2% annual increases. I'm well paid compared to local averages, but it's still tough to go it alone. Well, being alone is great because guess what? When you get done at your government job, you can carry your butt to somewhere and work extra if you are tired of it. If you don't think you're making enough progress, you can work more. Or you don't even have to go anywhere. You can do something at home that would bring in more money. I'm going to put 15% of my income towards retirement savings. That is the advice. My employer contributes another 9% on that. Fabulous. My contribution amount is compulsory, and I don't have the option to contribute less even. Yeah, that's common in like government and teachers and stuff like that. That's fine though. Oh, but if it's a pension plan, that 15% only counts as 7.5%. And the max doesn't make up for that. So that's 7.5%. So you would have to invest another 7.5% of the income elsewhere. And again, if you don't make enough money for that, then your other expenses are too much. Let's see, don't have the option. Set contribution amount, like plus mandatory RRSP, FTHB. I don't know what that is. Repayments, which will last another 13 years. Is that a loan? Is that a loan from the that feels to me, it feels like for me that's like a 401k loan. That's what it feels like to me. Let's see what it is. Search Google. Wait, let's see. Was that'll open in another tab on it, I hope. It did. Cool. Is a homebuyer's plan is a program that allows you to withdraw from your registered retirement savings plan to buy or build a qualifying home. Yeah, so that's on top of the mortgage payment then. So again, if that's causing a problem, you just need to make more money. Besides my pension plan and RRSP, I've got an 18 to 20 month emergency fund saved up. That's too much. While you still have a mortgage, you need to be paying on that, or if you can pay off the repayment schedule, 13 years for that loan, you would pay that off first and get that bye so you can put more towards the house. But yeah, so 6-month emergency fund, that's it. Marriage and children aren't things I want, so college funds aren't something I need to worry about. Okay, great. I am making just enough money to pay my bills at the moment. Then you need to make more money then. Sorry. Or, hey, guess what? You can sell the house. And your debt leveraging by not paying this off early, your debt, or the house even, your debt leveraging to have extra emergency fund. And so the baby steps don't say 18 to 20 months, it says 3 to 6 months. Without the rental income I was previously bringing in. Right, so you may get that rental income by getting your butt to work elsewhere, sir. Or again, you can sell the house and buy a cheaper one somewhere else. Don't have a spare cash to put anything toward my mortgage beyond the 5% extra I've been doing the last 3 years, or to continue growing. You wouldn't be doing that either. And you wouldn't be investing either while you have this other debt here. Well, you have to do the 7.5%, but that's all you would do, or the 15% of your income, which only counts as 7.5 towards the 15% that Mr. Ramsey recommends, because pensions suck compared to the market. So what's the question? Probably already answered it. Is this my glass ceiling that I would gradually be crushed against over the next 21.5 years of mortgage repayments as things like utilities and property taxes inflate faster than my income? Will there never be fun in my life again? Wah, like vacations or fun purchases? Wah, wah, wah. You bought too much house. And your first clue on that was when you had to get a roommate to be able to afford it comfortably. And now you're affording it just barely, and you're feeling it. And so you should have learned your lesson already, and you shouldn't have bought that expensive of a house before. Maybe there's something else in your, didn't say exactly what he makes. But at this point, selling and going back to renting would actually increase my monthly bills instead of decreasing them. Well, you can sell and move down in house, and that might be a lower mortgage payment. But yeah, so you screwed up by buying too much house. You screwed up by taking out the loan for a down payment, which is ridiculous. You save up your own money for a down payment. And this is when government tries to help, and they end up not doing anything except putting people in this type of situation. And of course, this person isn't saying, oh, I did this wrong, and I can, and I just have to either work a lot more, or I have to change the situation. I have to go move down in a house or something like that. Or I have to give up my dumb 18 to 20 month emergency fund that also Mr. Ramsey does not recommend. So you're not doing the baby steps, or you're doing your own thing. And so talking about glass ceiling and stuff like that, people are so dumb. I'm going to gradually be crushed against whining is the last paragraph, is the name of that last paragraph. So yeah, bought too much house, shouldn't have borrowed the down payment, dumb as crap, and that's your situation. And you're the one that chose to work for government. So all of this is on you. So you can work elsewhere other than the government as well, and bring in some extra money. That would be great. Approved. So, but you don't get a pass because you screwed up and did the wrong things. You don't get a pass on the math for that. And, you got used to it being okay, but you don't like to, while you're renting a room to somebody, but you don't like living with anybody. And so you think you are entitled to the extra money, even though you kicked the renter out. And so you should have known better than that. That's probably why you got the renter in the first place. So you need to stop being dumb no matter what country you're in. I had to do it here in the United States. I had to stop being dumb first, and then you do whatever you have to do to fix it. Luna Banana Goats. Since it's stork mode, much more common to be unmarried in the UK due to the tax issues. Yeah, those are dumb as crap too. A lot of dumb as crap going on today, Sid. Luna Banana Goats. Is it worth it to you to have an extra $200 to $300 per month going towards debt to not be your children's primary caregiver? What does that mean? Let's see what that means. I have an idea, but why don't we read the question first? For a change. My husband and I are about to have our first baby and have worked out our schedules in such a way that we won't have to utilize daycare. Fabulous. However, if I worked more and we did get outside childcare, then we could put another, oh, I see, another two. Okay, yeah. I mean, that's exactly what I thought it was going to be, actually. Another few $100s towards debt each month. This dilemma is killing me, like your loneliness is killing me, killing me though, as I want to be my baby's primary caregiver. Of course you do. Don't come after me for having a kid right now, please. Okay. Well, I don't know why anybody would. I was told I wouldn't have to move my desk again. We were told it was going to take quite a while to conceive, but then the fertility drugs worked immediately, and we ultimately didn't need IUI or IVF. Well, I know some people that would probably take that in a heartbeat, as opposed to the quite a while. We're existed and managed to pay off $20K in debt while we were also saving for parental leave. I don't get any paid leave, but my husband does, okay? Current debt includes a $26K car loan, payment of $450. If you can sell that car and get rid of that and buy a beater, do that. That would help the situation. The rates on the student loans vary from 5.5 to 7%. Minimum payment, not adjusted for income, of $451. All right, household income is currently around $140K, but will drop to around $110K under our current plan. We also have a mortgage of $350K with a monthly payment of $2250. And if you can't afford that, then you also sell the house and move down in house. That's not that fun to do when you have a child, and of course you would probably want a bigger house with a child, the same way that people think they need to buy an SUV when they have a child. When they have one kid, they think one kid will not fit in a compact car. They will. Both mine did, still alive to this day, and each of them have 20 plus years on them. We also have I said that already. So yeah, the post is still getting a lot of traction. I won't be a stay-at-home mom. Right? Regardless, I'll be working 20 hours a week. Right, what you said. So it's a debate between part and full-time. Thank you for all the perspectives. 130 comments without getting locked out. So apparently people were pretty civil in there. But I mean, I get it. For the $200, $300 extra per month per debt, I don't know that I would do that either. So, and what you can do is, and I'm sure because I have not seen a budget where I couldn't say, oh, you can cut out this. It is not 100% necessary. And you could give up this stuff and then still put the same amount towards the debt if you don't work full time and need childcare. You could still put the same amount to it. That you could make that 200, 300 either by cutting other stuff out of the budget, or maybe husband gets a part-time job as well. And so, even just a couple hours, even a little, just got to bring in a little bit more to make up for this $200, $300 that you won't have to put, but then you don't have to pay way, way more than that $200 to $300 in childcare. Any thoughts, Sid? She probably already has them. Babies don't come out with a baseball team and sports equipment. That is true, Sid. You are correct. So yeah, so I'm selling the car, buying a beater, and cutting extra stuff out of the budget that previously you didn't think you had to cut out. So, I mean, I tell you what, as soon as I see somebody's budget, and I do look at quite a few of them, as soon as I see somebody's budget where there's not anything that I could cut out, I will let you know. It's just people get like it in their mind that they need it, or that, America's favorite pastime, we deserve it, in this economy, and then they say stuff like that, and none of that changes anything. If you want to pay off debt fast, the way to do it is to stop buying anything that's not 100% necessary. Jake LeClaire, do I pay off our car or keep it in stocks/emergency fund? Well, the emergency fund, my friend, is not for paying off debt. The emergency fund stays right there. Best case scenario, you save it up, the $1,000, and you never have to use it while you're paying off debt. That's the best case scenario. And to continue, the best case scenario is then on baby step 3, you increase it to 3 to 6 months of your expenses. And the best scenario is that you never have an emergency and never have to touch it. And so you don't use that money for anything else. Now, and also you don't use it in stocks. Now, if those stocks are in a retirement account, Mr. Ramsey would advise you to sell single stocks and get managed mutual funds. That's his recommendation for retirement. But yeah, you would liquidate anything that's not in any extra savings or anything extra than, because you should only have $1,000 while you still have car debt. That's consumer debt. So Jake LeClaire may not be in America, might be doing it wrong. Regardless of country of origin. Let's see what the rest of it is. So yeah, that's the dealio on that, and answered before I read the question, as I do most times. Little background: my wife is in her 3rd year of residency. Her 4th year starts in June. None of this changes anything. None of this changes anything. Just had a baby, doesn't change anything. Last October, nothing changes. As far as this advice, hopefully you were on Stark mode until mom and baby were home safe from the hospital. Hopefully. If not, you were doing that wrong too. Just in 4 months today, so not having a monthly payment would be nice for daycare and other expenses. Yes, it would. So you can even do one better, and depending on how much you owe on it, you could sell it and get a beater. Looks like it would save us about $2,000 in the grand scheme of things. We put our emergency fund into an index fund. I don't see anywhere where it says to do that. People also keep them in high yield savings accounts, which also is a no-no, because guess what, dude? You have your emergency fund in that like a brokerage account or something. In that particular, is that an index fund or a stock? Let's see what that is. Just being curious here. Search for it. That would be the Fidelity S&P 500 index fund, yes. So, I mean, this is just people trying to use just a calculator and makes all their decision based on that. So the problem with emergencies is they don't wait for you to sell at the next available price, which isn't that instant for that. So you got to wait for the time the selling is done by your brokerage. And then after that, then you have to transfer it to your bank. Emergencies do not wait 1 to 4 days or however long that takes. So you're doing it wrong. Currently, we have enough to cover us for 6 months. No, you don't. Your brokerage account does. Hopefully that's not in the freaking retirement account. So no, you do not have that right now. No, you don't. It could be as much as 4 days away. So that's a nar on that. Don't do that dumb crap. Uh, let's see. Do I sell stocks? Yes. And withdraw the remaining money. If it's not in a retirement fund, yes, you do. And you would do that. You would also liquidate the freaking brokerage account too, except for $1,000, and actually you would liquidate the whole thing and not have a brokerage account with that money, because you're not supposed to have a brokerage account that is for your emergency fund. That's a no. People don't understand for some reason. So yes, you do. Because see, if you had thought about it, you could have said, "Oh, okay, well, $1,000." It doesn't say save any more than that. It doesn't say anything about investing there. But again, people read the entire list and they think, "Oh, well, I'm already investing some, so I'm good on step 4," and they don't have step 2 done yet, and so dumb as crap. So, and I mean, I wish it did have little. I mean, this is the Ramsey version of it. I wish it did have a little like a parentheses around here with a note here and said, "Do these steps one at a time without even thinking about doing anything higher steps." That means no investing, no saving for kid college, no saving anything extra other than the $1,000. But that gets a bit heady for that gets a bit. That'd be a bit messy, a bit, what is that called? A bit, like when there's too much junk laying around. What's that word? What I'm thinking of, Sid? Too much junk laying around. But anyway, it gets a little bit unwieldy for a fun graphic that gives you the steps very quickly. So, anyway, let's see. To sell and withdraw the remaining money owed on the car with the market being at an all-time high. It wouldn't matter if it was at an all-time low. You would still liquidate that to follow the baby steps instead, or keep the money. If I use that, since that 90 there would be turned into roughly, justification station. Dumb as crap. And you don't keep extra savings or invest extra while you have debt. That's called debt leveraging. You're debt leveraging the loan on the car to have a freaking stock account. Quit it. So yes, you go down. The only thing you have is $1,000 until you don't have any debt and you do have your full emergency fund. That is not in a brokerage account. My goodness gracious me. But again, baby steps themselves do not say that. So if that's all you look into, if you don't watch enough of the show or read enough or take a course, take Financial Peace University, something like that. If you're not that engaged, if you just heard about Dave, if you put in pay off debt and Dave came up, or you Google Dave Ramsey and this subreddit came up, and you're just asking this question, then I can understand. I can understand you doing it wrong, because it's not, unfortunately, you got to dive in a little bit more other than just reading the baby steps one time, because most people, or a lot of people, will misinterpret them, and some people even try to do all of them at the same time, which is also really dumb to my way of thinking, but people do think dumbly according to my thoughts. Now, Chase, this was 3 days ago. Is Dave Ramsey still on the Dave Ramsey Show? He was on vacation. He was in Cabo, at least as of a few Fridays ago, I think. 2 or 3 Fridays ago. Rachel said he was in Cabo. But 3 days ago, the same day this was posted, Mr. Ramsey was on the Ramsey Show. And it's not called the Dave Ramsey Show anymore. It's just called the Ramsey Show. Despite me having it, I have the wrong, I still need to change it on my playlist. Maybe when I add episode 483 to this, I'll also take the Dave part out of it, since it's been only about 2-3 years since the name has changed. So that's my bad on that. I didn't want to take it off immediately, because if it just said Ramsey Show, I thought, well, maybe people wouldn't would equate the two. So that's the dealio on that. But yeah, he was on there. First off, I'm a huge fan of Dave Ramsey. Of course you are. With that being said, I just quickly went through a monthly podcast, checking the host, and the last time I can actually find him on the show is 17 December 2024. Am I missing something? Yeah, they take off a lot of time for religious holidays and around holidays in general. So December 17th, they're done because of Christmas and New Year's. And then actually they came back pretty quick this year. There was a show on January 3rd, but Mr. Ramsey was not one of the hosts. And so he stayed off on this same vacation until he just came back this past Monday. So, and see, this is why you want to start a business. Why you would want to do that and be the boss, because then you can do this anytime you want to. And it doesn't matter if somebody thinks you should be on the show more, because you own it, so you can do whatever you want. Did he retire from the show? That's a nar. Hope not. He saved my bacon years back, and I really enjoy listening to Dave. Well, great. If you are that interested in it and that invested in it, you would have checked it Monday and found out that he was on. So fabulous. M&D metric under PAW. How about we leave that one for tomorrow? That seems like more of a Friday question. I don't even know what that is. I'm going to have to look those up to see what that is, and if that's some dumb butt stuff from some other financial advisor, and see if I should even bother with it at all. But I will have an explanation as to what it is. All right, one more time. You are watching this on youtube.com/CoachSteveMoney. And you can, almost said Coach Steve Ramsey there. Nope, Ramsey is not my last name. And for my financial content, just scroll down past the Oak Island playlist, and you'll see the Ramsey Show Aftershow show and the Answering Your Financial Questions playlists. And there's also the music playlist that has 11 Ramsey adjacent songs in there. Do enjoy those. Singing is not my regular job. That would be my disclaimer. I am a Ramsey solution. Too cluttered. Thanks, James T. You're right. Too cluttered. That was the word I was looking for. All right. Where was I? Oh, yeah. Ramsey Solutions Certified Financial Coach. And if you are having money problems, or you just want to make sure you are on the right track, you can schedule a free financial coaching consultation with me at calendly.com/coachstevemoney. Links in the ticker below and in the video description as well. You can email me at coachstevemoney@gmail.com if you have any questions about financial coaching or financial stuff at all, the Ramsey advice, or anything else on my YouTube channel. Donation can go to paypal.me/CoachSteveMoney. Alternatively, the CashApp, $CoachSteveMoney, a Walmart gift card to CoachSteveMoney@gmail.com. Or, of course, on live streams like this, you can do Super Chats, and it's called Super Thanks on pre-recorded videos. Upcoming streams would be this show, the Ramsey Show Aftershow show. Might eventually start doing weekend streams again. That would be the Answering Your Financial Questions one. But the Ramsey Show Aftershow show starts as soon as the YouTube portion of the Ramsey Show ends at 5:25 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday. Alrighty. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment. Thank you so much if you have done those things previously. Much, much, much appreciated. Alrighty. As always, make smart financial decisions every day.